Give us a teaser on your new book.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we've talked a lot about my new book. That's the secret. So my new book is actually on the topic of quitting, otherwise known as loss cutting. And it's essentially just, the human beings just have a very strong tendency to over persist. Right. So, I think we talk about, stick to it, like just keep trying and you'll succeed. But, the thing is that it's more like people who succeeded stuck to it. It's not so much that sticking to it makes you succeed. And I think that we get that causal relationship a little bit wrong. It's a little bit more correlational. So the issue is it's a lot what we talked about with like the concert ticket. It's like once you enter into an endeavor, it is just very hard for us to extricate ourselves, particularly when things aren't going well and we feel like we're going to lose to it. Right. So it's a little bit different if you think you're going to win, but when you think you're going to lose to it, it's very hard to get out of it. And we know this, right? It's hard to get out of bad relationships. Everybody says, I should have fired that person a lot earlier, because firing is a form of quitting. It's you quitting the employee. But, everybody says, I did that too late. I hung up on too long. I should have left that job earlier. Why didn't, this is just a very common problem. And the science on this is deep and broad about what are the forces that cause us to stick around too long. And I just don't think that there's a whole lot that's been written about this. I mean, Adam Grant has this wonderful new book, Think Again, which is about changing your mind, related. It's certainly adjacent to what I'm talking about. Seth Godin has a book that just sort of lays out the problem called The Dip, which is, like Seth's book are. It's about It's about this thick but filled
wafer thin.
Yeah, but it's just like every word's a gem. That's what he does. It's all like a protein
high
bar.
density.
Yeah, it's like a protein bar. So I'd really recommend people read that. But so I'm just really thinking really deeply about loss cutting and how do you figure out how do we become better quitters? Because I think that, for me, the secret to success is quitting. Why? Well, because you have to decide under uncertainty. So at the moment that you make any decision, you have limited information, and also, just so you know, the world changes separate and apart from that. So the whole thing is, what allows us to make great decisions under uncertainty is that later on we get to change. The market goes down in a way we didn't predict. We can do something about that. We can change course. We get in a relationship and it turns out the person actually was a jerk, but we didn't know it at the time. Right? We can break up with them, but we tend not to respond to those signals very well. So that's really what the book is about. It's like, how do we become amazing quitters? Because I think calling someone a quitter as a mean thing to say is silly. It's like people who are great at quitting are completely awesome.